4-jaw chuck just screws right onto the headstock. All the way up. Lock it in place. When you're boring deep holes or large holes on the lathe with Forstner bits, which is what we're going to do, sometimes the point of the bit tries to follow the grain. It's probably not a whole big problem on this wood because the grain is so tight, but usually what I do to start things off is first I drill a small hole, maybe part of the way into the wood, just to give the Forstner bit something to follow and get it started good and true. So I've got a 3/32 bit mounted in my Jacob's chuck on the tailstock, and I'll bring that up. Lock it off into place. Then I'll turn the lathe on at a fairly slow speed, maybe 250, 260, something like that. And then I'll just crank down and drill in maybe about a couple of inches or so. Again, it's just a matter of giving the Forstner bit something to follow until it gets itself started, and that should help us to ensure we get a good straight hole all the way around. That's all there is to that. And I'll remove the 3/32 inch bit from the tailstock. The first hole we're going to be drilling, according to my drawing, is a 1 3/4 inch hole, and that's going to be drilled 3/4 of an inch deep. Okay, I'm all set up. Again, I'll run the speed at about 250 or 260, and it's just a matter of slowly cranking the tailstock up until the bit engages and drilling up to my mark. Okay, that should be just at 3/4 of an inch. And we can check that to be sure. It's a ruler. And we're just a little more than 3/4, but that'll be just fine. So we can remove that Forstner bit from the tailstock, and without changing anything, we're going to switch over to the 1 9/16. And again, I have a little mark there, so I know how deep to drill this. Of course, I've used these before, so that's why everything's all marked out and ready to go here. Tighten that down. Move my tailstock up. Now I can go into the hole just until it makes contact. And I've cranked back as far as I can. The further you get into the hole, the more depth you need. So I may have to slide the tailstock forward a bit after this cut, but let's see how far we can go. We have to go clear up to here. Okay, I'm at my mark. I'm going to remove it. Now the last hole is the 1 1/16 inch, and that goes clear through to the end of the blank. to drill that, I don't have my Forstner bit isn't deep enough, so I have it mounted in a bit extender to give me a little extra depth. And we'll get that in as far as we can. Lock it in place, and off we go. Okay, I think I'm through. Okay, we can remove that from the 4-jaw chuck. And we'll have to pop that out, but it should be just about, there we go. A little plug, and there's a hole. Okay, the base unit's all drilled. Now we need to put a hole in the top part, and we want to make sure to drill that hole on the side that where we cut it off the main blank, and we mark that with the white lines. So I want to be sure that side is facing the drilling surface. Mount that in my 4-jaw chuck. Being a smaller piece, it's much easier to handle on the chuck. We'll get it good and tight. And make sure that it's going to spin all right. Okay, looks good. So I have the bit mounted in the Jacob's chuck. Again, I have a mark here for the depth of cut. In this case, it's going to be 1 1/4 inches deep. So I'll move the tailstock up. This is a short hole and it's a small diameter, so I'm not going to bother drilling the pilot hole like I did on the other one. But we'll turn it on. Our speed should still be set about right, and we'll drill the hole. Three. That should be it. So we're finished drilling the holes. The next step, I'll need to change the jaws on my chuck, and so I can re-chuck it into these holes, and then we can start actually turning the shape to the PepperMill.